Well, on the patio right now, it says 101.
And the clock on the wall says this is the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
AJ6TD on frequency, waiting on OTR.
The Old Tube Radio Network, the old tired Tube Radio Network, the old tired hot Tube Radio Network, showing 104 degrees in Fresno, down from, I think it made 110 today, so hopefully everybody that wants to be out in the hot Radio Shack is there, and if you're not, maybe you're hopefully listening from a cool place, which just about everywhere in the Central Valley is not today. All the hot weather that was happening up in the northwest has sort of moved down into Central California. But then again, it's July, and this is Fresno and areas just like it. Hi, this is the Old Tube Radio Network. My name is Dennis, your net control for the evening, reminding you that the Old Tube Radio Network is on streaming at oldtuberadio.net. And the video, I think, is up and running. And, of course, 27085 is where we are at. I'm going to make a slight... No, maybe I'll be okay. I was going to make a slight adjustment here on the transmitter. That looks pretty good. And what I'm going to do, we start with the direct internet roll call on this Old Tube Radio thing that we've been doing for the last 35 years. I'm going to go the old-fashioned way. I know a lot of people may be wanting to get in and out, or you're in a very hot spot or whatever. So follow along with me here. We'll see if this works so we can't get people in and out. Let me see if the 00 is out there.
0061, check in, Dennis.
All right, good deal. I got you checked in. Stay cool, and we will get you checked in as 61 as well. Thanks, Dino.
Thank you, sir. Have a good evening.
All right, 00 is in. Anybody out in a mobile that's somewhere, or any mobile stations, any mobile SWL stations that would like to check in? Let's see, mobile stations. Anybody else? Now, anybody that's in a radio room that's super hot and they want to get in and out, I'm going to listen. So go ahead and transmit your shortwave listener number. It could be a pile-up, it could not, but I'll take them as I hear them, and we will get you in and out. So anybody that needs to get in and out because they're in the heat or a hot room or something like that, go ahead, make a transmission, and I will call out as I hear them. OTR listening for SWL check-ins. And I know Bruce and the gang, they're up there on the 4-lane. If they're listening in, waiting for the AAA truck to show up. So you're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network that happens here every Saturday evening at 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. We had some skip earlier, but the band is a bit quiet, and I have a feeling that we could get some mini grass. All right, we'll continue with the roll call. And I'm going to go through the roll pretty quickly here tonight just to get everybody in and out. So let me get the thing fired up here. 00 is in. SWL number 1 is in. SWL number 2, Mr. OBP, I hope you are in an air-conditioned area for checking in tonight. Kevin is out there watching on the video side. Got a proxy check-in for SWL3, SWL4, SWL5, shortwave listener number 6, SWL7,
SWL7 checking in.
All right, checking in and checked in. You are sounding good. Hopefully the noise is not too bad tonight.
It's up a little bit, but we'll see how it goes.
Okay, the band has that sound, like it wants to break out and do something. We'll see what happens. SWL 10. Don't see Chrissy in just yet. We'll keep an ear out, an eye out that way. SWL 13, Mr. Cobra. I'll be watching all the various screens here to get our people checked in, so if you're jumping up and down, I'll see you eventually. SWL 14. SWL 16, Charlie from Anoka, Minnesota, out there very early as we were testing the equipment here earlier this afternoon in the 110-degree heat. Thanks, Charlie, for helping us out with the tests. SWL 17. SWL 18. Get 18, Mikey, in from Facebook. SWL 19, all the way from Derby, New York, out where it's almost tomorrow. Listening in early as we were checking in and doing our thing. Thanks, Chet, for checking in. Over to SWL 20. And I remember the days 20 wouldn't show up for months because he was in that 100-degree Radio Shack, but I think he's doing better. I think he's doing better on the Shack these days. Over to SWL 21, Mr. JT, who is checking in with the world's longest ground rod, and I don't know, I guess you were having some weather issues or something running up the electric bill tonight on old radio night. Looks like you gave it the 1, 2, 3 try, and then the stream never did come back all the way, but I have a feeling that's not the fault of the ground rod. You are checked in and looking good tonight. I was trying to see what was the radio tonight that you were trying to use. I think it was the Sonar FS23 and the reverse preamp. I think that's what was on. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll get some Sonars checked in tonight. Over to SWL 22. And SWL 23, let me see. I'm not sure if 23 Skidoo is out. Oh, he's checking in from the beach where it's a balmy 63 degrees. Well, we almost beat you by 50 degrees today. And he says it might need a change of venue. I don't know what that means. I think your 63 sounds pretty good. So I'm not sure if you're near the microphonium. I won't... if you want to take a transmission on the Echolink conference, go ahead. But I'm not going to call you because you might be doing something else. You might be enjoying 63-degree weather. 23 is checked in. SWL 24. SWL 25. SWL 27. My noise level just came up, so I don't know, something's going on. SWL 28. And 28's Gary up there in Sacramento, where the heat, I don't know if you guys got, I think we broke 110 today. You got a little bit of a Bay Area breeze. 28's checking in. Hope everyone is okay after the 3 earthquakes. Yeah, that's right. It was yesterday. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? It was up near the California-Nevada border. It shook here a little bit. I was standing up in the control room of the radio station And the general manager was seated next to me and we were doing something. He kept saying, "Why are you bumping into my chair? What's wrong with you?" And I'm saying, "I'm not even near your chair." And it turned out that was the rocking and rolling going on here yesterday or a couple of days ago for the 6.0 earthquake, 24 aftershocks. But I think everything was pretty good. Not a lot of damage or not a minimal damage. If you're right on top of a 6, you could have some damage. But I think everything was okay. And nothing lost in the control room here, that's for sure. Thanks, Gary, for checking in. And the break OTR, go ahead.
24.
All right, Joseph, we got you checked in. All right, 24 is in, and 29 is in. Let's try SWL 30. The other half of the Idaho duo, not in quite yet. North Charleston saying, "Look at all that daylight outside." Yeah, that's what happens here on the West Coast. We are certainly past the summer, the solstice, so it is getting darker. But you can kind of see where the window cadaver is going to be jumping in there later on, if indeed that happens. SWL 31. SWL 32. SWL 33. Bozo Control honking the proboscis, and everybody over in the green room tonight. They've got the fans running. I know they have the air conditioning cranked in the limousines, and there is, whatever the activity's going on, it's kind of, they're taking it easy, and that's what you should do when it's 110 degrees outside. Over to SWL 34. It's Jimmy and the Chicago gang out there, Mr. Railroader. Get Jimmy checked in. He'll probably be jumping in here at some point. Yeah, this is not quite a golden eagle. Actually, on this shirt, I think it's a hawk. Did they ever make a tube radio that was a hawk? I'm not sure. Let's go to SWL 35. That is Mr. Bill. Red Monkey Communications extraordinaire out there in cool Cheyenne, Wyoming. Bill, it is typical July in Fresno here. We didn't send any records today, but we came close. Bill checking in at oldtuberadio.net. Over to SWL 36. Shortwave listener 37.
37 here, Dennis, and yes, the other day, Thursday, when we had the earthquakes, we had 2 of them at the exact same time. That was mainly the ones that we felt when the big one hit, just about a half minute before the other one. So they all combined together, and that's why we felt them so good here in Fresno. But there was one up by Stockton, the other one over there on the other side of the mountain. But anyway, I thought I'd throw that in.
Yeah, like I said, I was standing up doing stuff on the audio board, and I didn't feel a thing, and the guy next to me was saying, "Good bump on the chair," and I was like, "No, it's rocking and rolling." Check your audio; it's very distorted, but I did catch everything you said.
Is that any better?
That is better. Over.
Okay, I had it up a little bit too high on the mic gain.
Sounding good now. We'll see if we can't get a little earth moving going on tonight as we check in the radios. 37 is in. SWL 38. SWL 39. SWL 40. And 97 Boston saying, yeah, it's another one of these shirts that does not have a pocket in it. You know, it's just, I had to wear something cool. But, you know, I brought the pocket protector. I don't know. Maybe I can figure out a way to hook it in that works. But I do have a sponsor pen, so if I don't forget, we will actually see See a pen going in the pocket protector tonight. Let's see. I'll get 40 checked in. Over 2. My J38 key keeps locking up on me. SWL 41. That's 507. Mr. Road Dog somewhere in New York tonight. I'm just hoping nothing overheats in the radio room tonight. It's smelling a little bit hot. It's smelling kind of warm in here, but it's already that way. Road Dog 501 is checking in from Hudson Valley of New York, saying hello to all the tube radio operators and SWLs along the line here tonight. And someone who noticed the radio's behind me. We'll talk about that during the radio check-in. The tube radios sitting back there. I mean, where they should be, right? This is the old Tube Radio Network. SWL 42. SWL 43. Getting Crazy Eddie checked in. SWL 44.
45, checking in.
SWL 45. Hello, Paul. I hope you are in a nice, cool spot. Over.
I don't think there's any cool spot around. we're cooler, though. Thanks, Dennis.
You are correct. There is no such thing. I think even up at Shaver, at 5,000 feet, it was 100 degrees. And maybe at Lodgepole and Huntington, we got below triple digits up at 7,000 feet. Another one coming in tomorrow. Sounding good, Paul. If you're around the radio room, we'll be talking to you in a bit.
Thanks, will do.
SWL 46. And 23 says, I need some Velcro. I have some of that 3M Mongo Velcro that might actually work. I was using it the other day. It is really, really good stuff. It's the 3M Mongo Velcro. Let's see if 47, if Mike is out there tonight. SWL 48. Shortwave listener 49.
Hello, Dennis. Mr. 49er here, along with Sweet Country Mama checking in.
Hello there, Dennis. Sounding good.
Yeah, we're headed over to Toledo's restaurant right now to get us some cold margaritas. Figured that would be a great way to beat the heat. I hope everyone is doing well out there, and I do appreciate the check-in, Dennis, as always.
All right, sounding good. Some good audio coming out of that mobile tonight. Smitty and Sweet Country Mama doing what one should do when it's 102 degrees, is find a nice air-conditioned place with a kitchen that isn't next to your radio room, and have a good evening and a great time. Thanks for checking in.
Hey, thank you.
Take care.
I see Chrissy is in, so let's get SWL 30 and SWL 10 checked in as the Idaho stations are among us. So I hope you are staying good. We've got the hot weather. You guys finally sent down all that hot weather in here into the Central Valley. 49 is in. Let's go to SWL 50. SWL 51.
SWL 51 checking in.
All right, 51 from Sanger, trying it live and direct. You're sounding really good, Dave, as always. Nice audio. You might not hear me, but you are checked in.
Thank you, Dennis. Cool evening.
All right, I'm thinking cool anyway. We'll see. You can see there's a breeze outside. The only thing is, if you go out there, it's like you're opening an oven and walking into this heat blast. But there is a breeze, and it's coming from the west, meaning it's at some point it was over the ocean, but that was about 100 miles prior to that, so it tends to heat up. Not like, Mitch out there in 63-degree weather. SWL 52, 52. SWL 53.
Hello, Dennis. How you doing? Pitching 53 Bel Air side, checking in.
All right, sounding good, Bob. 53 is in, and someone just posted that the dew point in Fresno is now 53 degrees. So the only 53 we are going to get is the one you just heard, Mr. Bel Air, because it certainly is not going to be 53 tonight. Thanks, Bob.
You're welcome, 10-4.
Directed that roll call, kind of breezing through it to get everybody in and out and get back into the cool spot, and then we'll just kind of hang out and talk about and check in the radios. Going to page 3. So if I'm going too fast and I miss you, I will pick you up. Don't worry. We'll get everybody checked in tonight. Got a check-in for SWL 54. Let's see if M&M is around. SWL 55. SWL 56.
Good evening, Dennis and the net. 56, just for kicks.
All right, 56 just for kicks. Phil knows how to stay cool. He's got a group of people hanging out at his QTH that they have little fans and palm leaves they can fan and do all that stuff. Although they're kind of tiny, but you know every little bit helps. Thanks for checking in. Find my screen here. Over to SWL 57. DD21 57 asked to be checked in. Well, from Central Kentucky, Brown Dog Audio, Worldwide Sidebander 1942 will be checked in. North Charleston, noticing that it's 16 degrees humidity. Now, when you guys have 100-degree weather, you'll have, what, 96-degree humidity, 76? So what works well in 16-degree humidity is the evaporative cooling, and that's what I've got here. Although, when it's 106 degrees, you really would want air conditioning. But the evaporative cooling works pretty well. It's amazing that I can get out of the evaporative cooler about I'm getting a 25-degree drop, which is better than I thought. So even more than that, 84... 104, yeah, about a 25-degree drop on the evaporative cooling, and it's not too bad. Adds a little bit of humidity, but yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice to have real air conditioning tonight. I got the fans on the tubes. They're happy. Over to SWL 58. I think there was a request to check in the Ditch Banks, Jeremy, the former Ditch Banks, who may be listening in. Who's out there checking in tonight? Up in the balcony, Boston, Massachusetts. MOLD, Mold is listening in, where it is cloudy, 58 degrees, and early in the morning. The sun just coming up out there on the old tube radios. Thanks for checking in. Rockford, Illinois. Hello to Fresno, Kerman. Our station in Brea. Dallas, Georgia. The unknown SWL, couple of unknown SWLs tonight. I know it's a little bit hot with those bags on your head, so cut a few more holes and you'll be good. Coming up to Canby, Oregon. Hello to Moncks Corner, South Carolina, North Fork, San Francisco. The boys from Squamish are back in. You sent us your...
You want me to check him in? He's right here. Go ahead and tell him just a second here, Ed. Speak up.
43 on the key. Check me in, Dennis.
All right, from the phone patch or whatever is sounding good. I'll get 43 checked in with an X in the square. Thanks.
Go ahead.
There you go.
Yeah, he said, there you go, Dennis.
All right, what do they say? Wherever you are, there you go. 43 is checked in. Thanks for the patch. Used to do that with Ted and some of the other guys. The boys from Squamish, British Columbia, sent us all this nice hot weather. What is it in Squamish? They probably won't give me. They're probably not going to give me a temperature for BC. No. Okay. Well, anyway, I know it's not 104 degrees. Temecula, California. That might be rich. And up here in the front row with the cue cards and directing the orchestra tonight, doing something. I got Anoka. And Derby, New York. The old Tube Radio Network, directing that roll call. Tube radios are coming up. SWL 59. Here's a guy that's always cool, even when it's 105 degrees. SWL 60. Joe, you are so cool tonight, it almost sounds like you didn't even say a word, even though you were transmitting. All right, well, I'm not sure what radio you're on, but check your wiggle meters, as we say. All right, I'll put an X in the square. He'll be back. He'll be back with the audio. Maybe it's just so warm it's best to not even speak. That creates extra heat. All right, directing that roll call, SWL 61 checking in as 00 and doing a good job of it. SWL 62. Shortwave listeners 63. Was Butterbean on old radio night tonight? I'll get North Georgia checked in there. 63. You got you checked in. SWL 64. SWL, who's next? SWL 65. SWL 66. And 66. SWL 67. Bill is out there in Canby, Oregon. Let me get a temperature for. I think you're still out there. Yeah, let me get a temperature for Canby. I remember last time we did this, it was 98. We got you beat. Canby's sitting at 80. Canby is sitting at 80, and Fresno, let me see if I've got the APRS weather map here. Down the street, it is 102. So we got you beat tonight. And Bill is shaking his head and saying, that's not a problem. Go ahead. SWL 68. Shortwave listener 69. That's Kenny in Tulsa. Kenny, be glad you're not in the Central Valley. But you know what it can be like. Looking good from Tulsa. We will get you checked in when you stop by on the video replay. And thank you, DD21 says Butterbean was there. We do have him checked in. Over to SWL 70. SWL 71, that is Stan, and Stan is out there. I do not know, there was some contest going on. It was like the IARW or something, and 20 meters was open earlier. And the guys were contesting. The guys and gals, I should say. But they're really... Let's see if we can grab one here. And the band is just not that good. Whiskey 4 X-ray. At 14-211. That's what's going on tonight. SWL 72. SWL 73. I'm getting John checked in. I saw him last night. Went to the Fresno Amateur Radio Club meeting, and it was an old tube radio night. It was at the Fresno Amateur Radio Club meeting, and I brought two radios. I brought my DX60B and HR10B Heathkit receiver, my novice rig, And I also brought one of my fave AM rigs, the Gonset G76. That I picked up at the TRW swap meet about 30 years ago. I used to make some good AM contacts on 75 and 40 meters with that Gonset G76. And John probably bought something. I don't remember what it was. But anyway, it was Old Tube Radio Night at the Fresno Amateur Radio Club. It's Old Tube Radio Night tonight, right here on Channel 11, 27085. We'll be listening for your radios coming up after the roll call. SWL 74. SWL 75. SWL 77. Got a note to get the tower power proxied in. SWL 78. Let me see if Richard is in there from Wild Wildemore. Where was it I saw? Temecula was in there. I don't know who that is, but Rich, if that's you, wave an antenna or something at me. We'll get you checked in. Over to, and I don't know if he's still in there, SWL 79. He was in earlier. They were helping the guys up on the hill that were broke down up there on the 4-lane. So, Philip, you're checked in. SWL 80. And let's turn the page. Before we do, let's see, is anybody, I don't know if anybody's over there. We'll find out what's happening in the green room tonight. If you want to stay cool, there are probably some good ways to do it here, and Bob and Steve will tell us all about it.
27.085 OTR Channel 11.
Okay, the Jingle Singers are having another putt-putt tournament. Winners get $100 card from Costco. They do. I'll have to bring out my putt-putt clubs. That sounds like a good deal. Or maybe I can't play. I don't know. On the card, so the Costco card is up and running, and a ride in the limo. That's worth the price of admission right there. The Jingle Singers washed and waxed the red limo today in the 110-degree heat. They were underneath one of those little shelter things early in the morning, and it worked out pretty good. And it takes all of them. It takes Mr. Announcer, the Jingle Singers, the orchestra to kind of put about 10 on each side, and then it only takes them about 20 minutes to get the thing spiffy looking. And after that, the popcorn and candy in the balcony tonight is on Bob and Steve. I wondered why there were so many people up there. No throwing candy off the balcony. Just want to remind you of that. Thanks, Bob and Steve, for the candy up in the balcony. The bar tonight from Big Sky Country Gourmet hot dogs or classic chili dogs with Frito chips and corn on the cob. I saw some people walking around with that corn on the cob. Looks pretty good. Thanks, everyone, for joining us tonight on 27085, and the bands were open today. Not so good on the West Coast, but I think it's my bad antennas. Have a great week. Don't forget to feed the fish, of course, and good night from Bob and Steve. They'll see you next week on the air somewhere from the green room, where there is always something cool happening. Page 4 for those playing the home game. We are checking in SWL 81. Mr. Unicorn, Steve Areno. And I'm trying to get all my pages back together here. Over to SWL 82.
82, checking in from the dry, dusty ditch banks of Biola.
Yeah, it is dry, it is dusty, it is hot. I missed the net last night. As you heard, I went over to the Fresno Amateur Radio Club to participate in their old tube radio night. So how did we do? What happened on the very warm ditch bank sideband net last night?
It was hot, and we had check-ins, and it was good. Way hot out there.
All right, was there any DX? Can we expect some DX tonight? What happened there? Any long-distance check-ins?
Yes, we did get some DX, and I don't have my papers by me, but we had DX come in last night. And I think after the net heard New York, Rhode Island, stuff like that.
Wow. All right. Well, we'll see what happens. If anything happens here tonight, we will try and get everybody checked in, or when he wants to say hi. The old Tube Radio Network, we can do that. Ron is a net controller over at the Ditch Banks Sideband Net. Join him, won't you? Fridays at 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time on 36th lower. That's 27,365. Everybody's welcome when the conditions are in. So thanks for that.
All right. Thanks, Dennis. Have a good night.
North Charleston. It says, are we allowed to water the grass? This year in California, I bet next year that's not going to happen. But this year we're back to kind of a normal 3-day watering schedule. So, yeah, the grass is green somewhere around here. Hello to Salvador, who's checking in. I guess taking a coffee break and checking in. This is the old Tube Radio Network. Central California is where we're at. We've been on the air doing this every Saturday for about 35 years, where we take some time out of our festivities, jump into the radio room and check in the tube radio, sort of like the ones you see behind me here, the E.F. Johnsons, the Robins, the Lafayettes, the Brownings, the Trams, kind of recreate the sound and the feel of citizen band radio back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Our tube radio operators and collectors help us out with that. Stay tuned. Over to SWL 83. SWL 84. And I will get 84 checked in. He is checking in. He's got a couple of his radios sitting on the desk. Actually, I think one of those might be Mountain Maids, but we'll get Jerry and the gang checked in. Over to Wrigleytown, SWL 85. And hello to the Google bots of Mountain View up there running around in the balcony tonight. Checking out the candy and the popcorn and all the good stuff. They know where you go to have a good time on Saturday evenings. It's right here at oldtuberadio.net and streaming everywhere else around the world. You just can't help it. From Mountain View, California, over to SWL 86, 87, and 88. Mountain Maid, Tandy Girl, and the Snowy Owl all checked in. SWL 89, we're getting Darren a check-in from the Facebook page. SWL 90. And SWL 91, way across the other, from the west coast to the east coast. 91, I'll check, see if Felix is in. Sometimes he comes in super early. And my page scrolls away before I can see that he's there. Over to SWL 92. Proxy check-in for 93. Hello to the mighty Juliet Whiskey. Hi, John. Waving a hand from KJG 4755. And maybe even another 5. Speaking of 5s, let's go to SWL 95. Warthog 95, who is out there in Orlando, Florida. Good evening, everyone. Hope all is well in Orlando. I think things have calmed down a bit out that way. I was listening to Hollywood, Florida on the Hole in the Wall net on 7188, listening to my buddy Mal doing his thing the other night. I don't know if they run Saturdays or not. I'm not sure. Let me check. I can do that. So let's go down to 7188. It's hard to tell. Band conditions just aren't good tonight. I don't know if that's Hollywood, Florida or not. But I do know this is Fresno, California, and we're talking to SWL 96. Dennis, if you're in, I know you wanted an early check-in from Kerman. Having some trouble hearing this station at night, so that's not a problem. We do have you checked in. Thank you, Prune Picker. Over to SWL 97, Boston 97. Jim checking in tonight in the old Tube Radio Network. You are looking good and sounding good here on the charts tonight. We are in week 6 of 8 weeks on the roster. If you're playing the home game, you should be under the 10th day of June 2021. Putting the X's in the squares. Coming up to SWL 99. And SWL 100, Tony, I talked to Tony earlier on the Echo link, which is up. I guess I should mention that. That is over at, what is the link number for that? The Echo link at 354870. That's the node, or look for Old Tube Radio Network. Got a couple up there that we'll be chatting with. Tony, if you're listening in somewhere, we got you checked in. Glad to hear that all is well in McClellanville, South Carolina. Over to SWL 103. SWL 109. Shortwave listener 110. I'll call Robert. He was in. He's got some interesting device. I would like to know what it is that he got. Some type of a Palomar noise gate or noise bridge. If you're there, Robert, I'm checking you in. Over. Not hearing him, but he said he was, says he can't hear me. Well, that's that's nothing new. A lot of people can't hear me. Says he got and added an inline common noise filter from Palomar. It removed the common noise on the IMAX that is S7 down to S5. All right. So I need a little bit more than 2 S units to make the grade to Readly. That's up to me and my antenna, I think. Over to SWL 113. SWL 114.
114, checking in.
114, sounding good, Wayne. I was thinking you might be trying to cool off down there in Berenda Slough, but no doubt it's 110 degrees there, so I think you're in a good spot.
10-4. Thank you for the check-in.
That's the thing. When it's 110 degrees in the valley, it's 110 degrees in the valley. Let's see if we can pick up a crossband. W6OTR, KB6GFD, over. W6OTR, KB6GFD. Now, apparently I can't be heard on 2 meters either. KB6GFD listening. Oops, I think that was a double transmission. Hello, Harvey, KB6GFD. Or maybe this one's not working. All right, back to the other radio, KB6GFD.
Okay, I'm a little closer now, and we have the delay because I'm listening to the show at KB6QFD. So KB6GFD, W6OTR, check-in 29 and 54 and me.
Okay, I will do all of that. Yeah, you're kind of in my phase canceling position, but I hear you quite well, so we got you checked in. KB6GFD.
KB6GFD, KD6QLG.
And it looks like we've got another item of interest. We will get you checked in as well coming up on 135 over, KB6GFD.
Yeah, Roger. SWL 135. Thanks there, Dennis. KD6QLG clear.
All right, very good. 73 KB6GFD. All right, a couple of check-ins from the crossband. That's kind of working tonight. The air, it's 110. I guess 2 meters still work across all the beaconing. And who was it that said, Tony, magnetic loop time? I agree. I'm starting to study those. I didn't know that much about them, but I see a lot of people working them, and they seem to work okay. And I guess MFJ's got a few, so have to look into the magnetic loops. That's going to be the Cycle 25 antenna. That, along with the hex beams. That's the Cycle 25 stuff coming up. Direct net roll call. Radios are coming up if I'll stop talking. Let's see. Wayne is in at 114. That takes us over to SWL 128. And I'm pretty sure I saw John checking in 39 minutes ago. Checking back in. That's right. He was in earlier. And he was the unknown SWL, so it looks like the ISP has figured out who you are, John, because you're there. And knows about Fairfax, Virginia. Checking back in. So 128 is in. SWL 131. SWL 133. Even when I try to go fast, it still doesn't work. Let's see, SWL, where are we? 135, as you just heard moments ago, checking in from the crossband. So, Cliff, you are checked in with an X. SWL 137. And we'll check with the delay here. Next person is Tony. We'll try Tony on 145 through the Echo Link. KB6GFD, over.
SWL 145, checking in from Marina. Been here since the day after field day. Looking forward to getting back home. I have a new grandbaby born in Clovis community this morning, so can't wait to get home and hold that sweet little thing. Back to you, Dennis. Thank you for checking me in.
Oh, my gosh, a lot going on. You are out of the heat, but heading back, congratulations on the grandbaby, and that should be a sight to behold. Congratulations on that. Thanks for checking in. And yeah, I've been working in the mornings on Fridays, early with the street collection. They came by and picked up everything today. So I do believe I'll be back on track for Friday mornings. 73 to you, and thanks for checking in. And good luck, and drive safe on safely on the way back. KB6GFD.
Okay, very good, Dennis. Yeah, I've had somebody having to cover for me last couple of weeks, and I'm hoping to be home by this Friday and run the net Friday, but we'll have to see. I have something I gotta take care of here first before I can head back home, and not really looking forward to leaving this high temperature of 68 today and get back over there to the 105, kind of enjoying a nice cool weather. Back to you, Dennis. Thanks again, AJ6TD.
All right, 73. Thanks for checking in, and like I said, we'll look for you when you're back in town. Thanks, 73. KB6GFD. All right, and Tony on the Echo Link, sounding good. Sounding good from the coast. 145 checking in, and there was a station. I think that was 79. Are you still there? Over. Well, but as he was checked in, 45 is checked in. Let's try SWL 147. And I think 147 was probably in earlier, and scroll off my screen. There he is, back home again in Kakalaki. It was at least good to have you in California. You said that might be your last trip. I didn't elucidate on that to know why, but It was nice you got to make it back. Roared through Cali last Monday. It was hot. Yeah, it's hotter now. You got out just in time. Goodbye, California. Won't be coming back. I think there's a song about that. So 73 from Neil in the Carolina Sand Hills. Thanks for checking in. And like I said, you're gonna have to fix that 6 call, I guess. But the FCC will do that for you. Directing that roll call. The tube radios are coming up shortly, so don't go away. We are looking for SWL 188.
Good evening time, Dennis. Good evening time to the net. 188 Snowbees checking in.
188 Snowbees sounding good as always. And as thanks for being patient, going through the list here, but you're always there on time. Thanks.
10-4. Appreciate you running the net.
And then let's see. Let's go to a guy that's been patient for about 30 years. On page 4, SWL 195. I heard the train or something coming through. Over. All right, I got you, Jim. There's some interesting sound on your radio tonight, including yourself. We've got you checked in. Let's see. Popcorn 913 says hello, radio. And we say hello, radio, right back as we get ready for the tube radios. Let's see if Jeff is out somewhere. SWL 226.
And then a break.
Yeah, okay. We'll get to Jeff checked in. He usually has to go up to the top of the hill to beacon down this way. And the breaking station, I hear you. Over.
Well, can number 27 get a top of page 2, better late than never check in?
Yeah, I just pulled page 2 up, and we're bringing up 27 to get the check in. You sound good. It was good to see you last night. We've got the items of interest displayed on the back table here behind me, and they're looking good.
Roger. Just got out of the pool, so I thought I better check in.
Station.
All right, and you are checked in. I think there's a lot of people out in the pool tonight, so that is a good place to be when it is still, I'm going to check the temperature, when it is still at almost 9 o'clock, 100 degrees in the beautiful downtown Fresno. Thank you, Dwayne. And the station, go ahead, over.
Late as usual, SWL 79.
All right. Well, I had you checked in from a prior episode back in the days of the 4-lane thing, and I hope the station up there. I hope Bruce and the gang have got AAA and are working good, and we've got you checked in now.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Anybody else before we head over to the tube radios? OTR is listening.
Dennis, radio check.
Hey, you've got some audio and it's sounding good. Over.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you about it someday.
Yeah, I've got a list. I've got a list of those. I'll tell you about it. Radio happenings. You sound good now. It's perfect. So you figured it out.
Yeah, we sure did. With your help, I would never would have bothered to look for it if I wasn't talking on OTR. No, we never had the volume up. We had the mic gain down.
Yeah, I know. So many knobs, so many dials, and so little time. But you had one heck of a signal, so we got you checked in, and you're checking in again.
Appreciate it.
All right, sounding good. The old Tube Radio Network, we're taking a short break, getting ready for the tube radios to check in. A good time for everybody to grab another sip of your favorite beverage, or like Dwayne and some others, jump in the pool and be back for those glow-in-the-dark radios coming up in moments here on your old Tube Radio Network at 27085. Back in a bit. All right, back in the air chair. You're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
The Old Tube Radio Network, real radios glowing in the dark, 27085, streaming at oldtuberadio.net and everywhere else. You know where to find us. The glow-in-the-dark radios are coming up next. We are listening. If anyone dares to even get into the radio room tonight at 100 degrees, at 9 o'clock. Yeah, hello, Paul.
What's out here?
I think it'd be kind of a slow night. Anyway, I would take 180 at my Midland 13-890.
Okay, let me grab up the Rolodex, spin it around, HIJK, LM to the, Midland to the M's, and see if I can't find the one. Midland had, how many 13-somethings did they have? A lot. Give me that number again, over.
Okay, it's a Midland 13-890.
All right, 13890. Here we go. It should pop up right here, right there, or somewhere. There it is. 13890. Okay, I found it. I walked outside, and it is breezy. I'm just blowing my hair. It's like going into a blast furnace out there, but I had to check on a few things, and all is well. Maybe we should be doing the show from outside at the 100-degree weather. Okay, I found the radio. You've got good audio. This is a good choice tonight, and hopefully it's not running as hot as a pistol. Over to you.
Yeah, that's my radio I'm talking about right now. Real nice radio. There are not many of them around, I'll say it for sure. I think there's one more. I think Harvey might have one, too. I don't know. But anyway, like you see a picture of it there, and you control it by that, there would be a chicken feet control on the right top. That has standby and operate on and off. That's how you control, which is rather unusual for the thing. But, no, that's a real nice radio. I like it. Back to you.
It's got good audio, putting in a good signal, and I'll make sure I get the S-meter back up in there. And I think it says it's Japan, so I don't know if this is a Panasonic chassis or not. Historian 23 Skidoo says the 13890 was the only, that's capital O-N-L-Y, Midland tube radio. So you've got a super rare item there. Sounds good. I want to see if I can get a close-up on that knob. Where it is that you were talking about. It looks like it has a PA. Oh, it has a PA. Squelch, fine-tune, noise limiter. Looks like a pretty fine unit. Over.
Yeah, you're about there. You're close. Get the magnifying glass out, I can see it. You just miss it a little bit. No, that's it. I'll tell you what, it's a real clean radio. They didn't make many of them. They only have this thing listed in Sam's Solar Facts, so but I had lucky. I needed a schematic for the thing, and what a great guy that listed in all the thing. Give me found the address where I could get one. And Mitch Shaker, he's the one that found it for me. There's some other friends in there. Great bunch of listeners out there. Back to you.
Absolutely. Chrissy says it looks like a stereo. Chrissy, I agree. There are a couple of the radios when they started putting the wood side grains on them, or the wood sides, that looked more like stereo gear than CB gear, and I'm sure that was because it was becoming popular and they wanted to pull the CB radios out of the garage and the workshop and into the living room, where they look nice and everybody, the whole family would get on. There's the rear view antenna loading. It looks like it has a plate control, so pretty cool. A TVI trap, external speaker, and an antenna. So this is a very uncommon controls on the back, but a neat radio. Let's see. And I'm going to go back to the front view. Give me another transmission. I'm going to put the S-meter back up so we can see what you're coming in with.
Okay. Tell you what, this thing's got a noise limiter on it that is really, really great. I turned the noise limiter on, I kept barely making out from the noise. Sounded like a whole bunch of arc welders welded right by my ear. So, it's bad. But with that limiter, it knocks about 75% of it out. Super radio. And as I say, I'm talking on my JM+2U microphone, and that's amplified. I did, of course, didn't get a microphone with it when I got the radio, but that's the main thing. And that's about it. Back to you.
Okay, really good crystal clear audio. The signal is at S8. That's not a super duper signal at all, but the audio is just great and cutting through everything. A cool radio, very rare. Mitch is saying it's probably not one of the Panasonic chassis. It's got some great controls in the back, so a good find. And that is the Midland 13890, and what we believe might be the only tube radio made by Midland. And they made a lot of radios. I'm not privy to their 13 code, or if there's a way to tell by looking at the numbers what you might have on the radio. Sounds good. Our first radio of the evening, we'll log it in at 9:03. Sounding good here in the Old Tube Radio Network. Back to you for transmission. Thanks, Paul, for starting us off.
Yeah, the Midlands are still a better. There's a few of them out there that are like this radio, very similar to it, but not the same ones on the SAMs. So you go from there. Luckily, I got a manual on it. I'm a great guy. A lot of good friends. Thanks again, Dennis.
All right, thank you for bringing it by. The Old Tube Radio Network, doing what we do best, and that's standing by, listening for our tube radio operators and collectors to check in with their collections. OTR, listening for Radio 2.
27.
And Dwayne at the microphonium, logging you in here at 9:08 Pacific Daylight Time, and tell us what you got. I'll find it in the Rolodex here.
All right, well, I have 103.6 out here inside Studio G, so I'm checking in the Robin Tango 123 Bravo 23 channel CB transceiver.
Robin Tango 123. I can find that. It's the green machine. There's the photo. If you're at oldtuberadio.net or watching the video. If not, you are hearing the great sound of one of those Panasonic chassis. I can't remember the microphone you're using, but it's putting in plenty of audio.
Yeah, this is a D104 amplified mic, that Lollipop. And I have this radio permanently in the shack now, so I put a switch in so I can go from HF to AM, and so it's permanently mounted now. I might have to do a kabuki dance to get the other one in here, though, so we'll see. It might involve another switch.
Yeah, aren't switches great, as long as you can label them and remember. What my problem is, I put in switches and if I don't label them and I don't use them forever, then I'm caught tracing the wires back to figure out what they do. So I know it does something, but I can't remember what happens when I flip it. Sounding good. Glad you got it as a permanent fixture in the radio room. As you notice, I got the two back here. That one Robin is a mystery. I was goofing with them today, and it's sort of the E.F. Johnson is going to be a player, I think. So and that's a cool radio, the one in the back here. So it's nice to have a Robin T123B. We have some fans of Robins. Chrissy from Idaho loves the green radios, as they are when they check in. Hello to Cornbread is listening in from the Gulf Coast of Louisiana, enjoying the Robin T123B, as well as Smarty Jones out of New York. Give us another transmission.
Yeah, you might have to check those modification switches there, because you might have to have them in the right configuration. I never even plugged that thing in, but yeah, the switches on that thing, they do something. I don't know what they do. Anyway, number 27.
27 sounding good on the old tube radio network tonight. Yeah, I was doing, there's like 3 and 3, so there's, what's the math on that? The number of combinations, you know, you go to 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, and back and forth, and is it a transmit and receive, so we'll get it figured out. In the meantime, it looks good. It looks good in the background, and yours not only looks good, it sounds good as well. Radio number 2, gracing the airwaves here in Central California tonight with the Robin T123, and I better write a bravo on that. Produced by Robin, courtesy of the Panasonic chassis from 1972 to 1976. 11 tubes with 12AX7 for some audio and 6BQ5 for some other good items of interest. Operator's manual and schematic at oldtuberadio.com. Another transmission before you go, Dwayne, and thanks for bringing it by. And it was good to see you at the Old Tube Radio Roundup last night.
Oh, Roger, good to see you too. Maybe next week I'll play around with the adjustment on the bottom of this mic, and we'll see if it sounds any different, if it's louder, or I haven't touched it since I got it. So anyway, I'll back out of here and let you continue. Number 27.
Thanks for Radio 2. Wow, my audio is sounding weird. Oh, you know what? A thought occurred to me, and I'm going to try this. This may not be the smartest thing to do. I think these are hooked up. Let's see if we can get some power. Yeah, look at that. All right. Make sure I'm not on. It's not hooked to an antenna. We're going to do. This one may not be in there as well. Let's see. Did all right, that doesn't have. Why is that? Oh, you know what? I turned that off because that one is always on. So we'll light up the E.F. Johnson behind me, and we're looking for Radio 3. And I've got a lot of static tonight. I'm going to adjust the RF gain, see if we can't squelch some of that static here. Yeah, it's a little bit easier on the ears, and gee whiz, I've even got the noise blanker on tonight, so I've got a little bit of static going on. And I said I'd be nice to the jingle singers tonight and everybody in Studio B, and if you will do minimal breaks over there, because they just kind of want to. After their nice job on watching and polishing up the limousine, they are quite pooped. They are quite spent over there. So I don't want to. I want them to hear next week. They did a good job. So they're out at the bar and having a good time in the green room. Look for Radio 3.
45.
Hey, Paul, if you're still hearing the Old Tube Radio Network, take a transmission. You will be Radio 3 over.
Okay. A T-Berry Model T 23 channel.
From T-Berry, the Model T, or a Model T 23 channel, I think they made like Robin did, they made a 23-channel version and a 40-channel version. And speaking of the Robin radios, this could be the infamous Panasonic chassis. All right, I found the radio. You know, it says the wrong name. I think this is actually... I want to say this is actually your radio, even though it says it's from Steve, but take a transmission.
Yeah, that's my radio up there. I don't know why I'm having trouble hearing you. I should be having trouble because you're coming in loud, pretty loud. Just my ears, for some reason, a little bit more noise in this radio than my last one. That Midland had the best noise suppressor in the world. Anyway, back to this thing, it's just, like I say, it's made by Panasonic, and it's T-Berry Electric Corporation, Indianapolis, USA is where it come out of after they got it back from Japan, I guess. Anyway, back to you.
Nice audio. I'm looking at the lights. This may be similar to the Robin. Let's see if I get a close-up. TX, RX, and Mod. All right. No, I don't see the external speaker, so this isn't quite as deluxe. It does have the range gain or range expand circuitry. I was looking at I've got the Robin, the 240D behind me. I was going through the schematics, looking how they did their range gain circuitry in line and all that good things. 23 channels. We're looking at 23 channels on this one. Your 23 sounding good on the T-Berry. Over.
Yeah, you're sounding great right now. No, this thing's got a range gain on it, but I don't dare run it with this particular mic. I can run it, but I don't think you'll be hearing me. We'll try it and see if it's still working. It's got an amplified microphone, so it's hard to set them up. Some of these radios will take it, but some of them won't. I'll find out. I'll turn it off. See what I'm getting. I'm getting some out of it. Yeah, I'm not looking too bad. Anyway, I'll try it with it on. I don't know that. Tell me how it sounds.
It sounds good. I did not hear, if you flipped the switch, I didn't hear any difference, but it's good. It didn't go down, it didn't go up, and you've got it adjusted right. On the video side, we are looking at the rear of one of the radios without the plugs, but there's the external speaker. It's got the meter adjust, also the load and plate control, and that also has the TVI trap antenna on it as well. So you shouldn't be playing havoc with your neighbor's televisions. You are radio number 3 on the classic T-Berry Model T, a very popular radio. I remember talking to a lot of those probably in 1972 and 73 when they first came out. I sort of headed off for college in 73 and wasn't doing much CB, but I remember these were a hot item back then, and it's sounding good now on the old Tube Radio Network over.
Yeah, they're a quality radio. I really like them too, Dennis. They're so nice and well made. I'll tell you, they did a heck of a good job on this thing. Yeah, I'm running an amplified mic on this thing. I'm using a Static TMD 107 handheld, and I think he did a pretty good job on this thing. I don't think I'm overmodulating or nothing. Talking about that, thank you for last week. I'm going to definitely put a different mic on the MC12. There's no comparison to the 9. So next time you hear the 12, it'll have a different mic on it. Back to you. 37.
All right, 37. Be ready. You're going to be Radio 4 coming up. Yeah, it wasn't bad, but, sometimes you compare the things and you think maybe I can do just a little bit better, but it certainly made a decent check-in, as is this radio, the T-Berry Model T. I had it up for a second there with the S meter so you can give yourself another signal report. A good S8 meter reading like I was getting on the Midland 13880. So you're beaconing down the hill tonight. I think that the hot air has sort of made things nice for transmitting that way. It's given me a little bit more noise on my receiver tonight, but you are cutting through everything just perfectly. Thanks for bringing by radio number 3 on the T-Berry Model T. Over.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for checking it in. You better get the next man up there. He's always anxious to make a lot of noise out there with that general. I bet he's coming up. Back to you, and thanks for checking, brother.
All right, yeah. Well, noise is a good thing. This is the noise zone from 8 to 10 o'clock on Saturday evenings. The old Tube Radio Network. I've got plenty of noise. I've got a lot of fans. I've got 4 different fans running in this room to circulate the air and to keep things going, and I've got the noise gate turned on. I don't know if I can turn. I'm just for kicks here. As Chris steps up into the air chair, I'm trying to find if I don't blow something up. Let me turn off the noise gates. I have to turn this. So that's not too bad. That's all the fans. And there's the Sans fans. Hello, 37. Over.
And hello, Mr. Dennis. Anyway, yes, Dennis, thank you. I would like to check in this radio if it's all right with you.
It is all right with me. In fact, I've even started the check-in process, inserting you as radio number 4. Over.
Okay, well, you could put it down as number 5. I bet I could have movie say 5's alive, 5's alive. But I'm still alive. Anyway, 37 here. We're going to check in our general radio telephone, the Super MC11A, and this is the 24-channel version of this. And we're roused here with the handheld stock microphone. Over.
As always, sounding good. I don't see a lot of movies, so I'm not familiar with that. I'm not familiar with that movie you referenced, but I am familiar with the general radio telephone Super MC11A, writing it down in the mode here. Always sounding good, doing a good job on one of the OTR favorites.
Well, thank you. And Eddie was telling me up on the hill there that he cannot hear you at all. He said he was trying to holler. We couldn't hear him either, I guess. But that's why when he called me, I had to let him check in with you. Over.
Okay, no problem. There could be more noise tonight. It's weird. Ridley was hearing a little bit better, but not as much. Paul's got noise. I've got noise. There are places up in the hill, and I'm shadowed. That Midtown is actually shadowed. If you get a little bit north or out in Clovis, especially up near the Bass Lake area, up in there, there is something in the way, and you really have to. I have to have like almost 30 or 40 more feet of altitude to get over it. We used to have a guy I talked to in sideband, and he would drive 40, 50 feet, 100 feet up from his house, and then both of us would come in clear to each other. So there's something going on. But in the meantime, I'm hearing you good.
Yeah, you know what that is between? That's called a mountain.
Is that what an obstruction, right?
Oh yeah, well, he's up there on 49, up there closer to Hawaii, but it's still that deadwoods right there in between, or dogwood, what you want to call it, is right in between. And but he hears me once in a while, but I have to crank it up really hard on sideband. He hears me. He can't hear me on AM either. But now he used to be able to hear you really good. He was saying, but for some reason he has not been hearing you as good as he used to. So he was going to get on the email and send that to you. Say he can't hear you. So I'll let you know he can't hear you.
All right. Well, I find that kamikaze tree climber that wants to go up about 90 feet in the cedar tree. We'll see what we can do. In the meantime, you're sounding good. One of the fave radios here on the Old Tube Radio Network. And for those wondering, is there anything special you have to do when you jump into the air chair and get ready to take a transmission? Is there lots of dialing and switching of knobs and other things you do, or how easy is it?
Well, actually, the one knob for turning it on and turn the volume up and down, other than that there on the gain knob, just right below the S meter, the delta tune, I have to tune that in just a little bit once in a while. But other than that, that's it. And just wait till the tubes get warm and say hello.
Say hello radio. That's the way it should be. It should be easy. It should be something that is fun to do every Saturday evening, and of course I know it is because you've been with us checking in here for pretty much all the 36, 35 years that we've been doing this on Saturday evenings, and we appreciate all the time. Back to you for transmission, and thanks for radio number 4 on the general radio telephone Super MC11A, which I believe was probably around 1972. Only 9 tubes makes all that great sound thanks to the ECLL 800 and a 12AX7. There is more information about this 24-channel radio in your Sam's PhotoFax 22 on page 45. Back to you.
Okay, Dennis. All right, well, Dennis, I'm going to do like everybody else is saying on the news and everything. Let's cut back some power. So I will be turning off this in here for it. It does take a little bit more juice. And I'm going to turn these tubes off, and I'm going to jump on my radio to listen to the rest of the net. So, Dennis, thank you. You have a great evening up here, and good hearing you in there. Thank you.
All right, well, something bad just happened. The mouse fell off the table. The screen went away. I'm going to hit this button. All right, we're back. I think now, let me see if the mouse is working. They didn't break anything. All right, we're still good. You sounded good, Chris. Thanks for checking in.
Get the mouse trap if he caught your mouse there. All right, I'm gone.
You know, 35 years ago, we didn't need a mouse to get on the air for the old Tube Radio Network. Things have changed. We are looking for radio number 5.
60.
And 60. Step up in the air chair. I have a spot for you here at 926 on the old Tube Radio Network. Over.
Thank you much, Dennis. Yeah, I would have liked to have gone over to the green room there for a while and looked for some maybe some popcorn. We happen to be a very big fan of it. But in the meantime here, Dennis, since we're on the airway, we'd like to check in the Johnson Messenger, the 223, the 10-2 with the original stock mic.
And that is a cool radio with a cool microphonium. We'll talk about that because I just happen to have one here that is definitely airable, definitely workable. I was checking it last night. I really like the build on that particular radio for a number of reasons. There it is. Let me get the full screen on it. The Messenger 223. After looking at that, I think what they did is they took the Messenger 2, they put the chassis sideways because that radio is not very deep, and then they added the front piece because it's wide and not deep. So they added the front panel speaker and the meter and everything else and the channels. It's sounding good, and I hope when I get the one on the air over here, it sounds as good as yours. Back to you.
Thank you much. Doggone it. It is sort of like you say, not as deep of a radio, but very compact and very user friendly there for sure. Okay, Dennis, well, doggone it, I appreciate you letting me check this one in. Maybe we can get some more radios in there tonight. I'll be cutting it a little bit short, so we can get some more radios in there. And doggone it, nothing fancy about it. Just a little old volume and on and off, just a squelch, on and off squelch, which actually turns the radio on. Okay, Dennis, thanks a bunch here, and we'll be on the side warming up another one.
Yes, indeed. Not very fancy at all, but I like I've got one right back here. The metal, it's built like an old car. It really is. It's built like a 1962 Buick. It's heavy, solid. I like the detail work. It's not overdone. And here is the E.F. Johnson microphone. I've got that, and it's simple as well. I just pulled it off the thing with the radio. There's the Johnson. Works well. It is you know what? I didn't realize that is a funky. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pin kind of DIN thing. So if I want to wreck things and hook it into the audio board, I'm going to have to do my homework and figure out how to work all that. Plus, I think it's electronic switching. So when you unplug the microphonium, you probably don't have a receive audio. But you've got it down. It sounds good for our 5th radio tonight. Over.
Thank you much, sir, Dennis. Hey, okay. Doggone it. It is a very friendly radio to use. I'm not saying just for a beginner, but someone like me who's never really talked on tube-type radios, to come across this one, this has been a real pleasure. A lot of good times we've had with it up to this point. Okay, Dennis, I'll let the old channel rock, and I've got another one warming up.
All right, thanks for Radio 5 and a Johnson mic like that sold for $300 last night in an auction. Holy cow! All right, I'll be a little bit more careful when I pull it out of the socket. But yeah, you can buy, what is it? That's a Turner, or you can buy, it says Turner on it, but not that many that sell for Johnson. And I think it was a $20 option. You could buy it with or without the microphone. In fact, let me see. I may have some info on that. Yeah, well, $199 back in 1969, 1970 without the mic, $214.95 with the special Johnson desk mic, and that was a base radio. Did not have the 12-volt power cord like the Johnson Messenger or the Messenger 2 did. So that was their flagship. Last Tube Radio, and I think it came out with the 250 and the 123. Johnson had quite a few radios in the early 70s, but this, of course, was one of their more popular. The old Tube Radio Network is standing by, and we're looking for radio number 6.
Break OTR.
Hey, the break OTR. You definitely have broken OTR. Go ahead, over.
50 checking in.
Hey, and doing a good job. I will mark you down on the SWL list. And since I have the Tube Radio list in front of me, tell us in, what do they say, 25 words or less about the radio on which you are talking. Over.
Yeah, no worries. It's a Golden Eagle Mark III. And Stockman Nano Ramble Mac.
And sounding great. Is that the, like there was a sideband version and an AM version. Which one do you have?
Most definitely sideband.
Okay, the Mark III SSB. Let's get to grab a shot of that beautiful radio that takes up pretty much all 3 feet of radio real estate. And it sounds good and looks good in doing it. Thanks for checking in. And you are Radio 6, by the way.
Alrighty, thank you.
And thanks for stopping by the old Tube Radio Network.
Hey, Dennis.
You caught me trying to find what I did with the water jug here. The Hey Dennis, go ahead.
All right, I'm assuming this is the Hey Dennis frequency. 708 check-in when you get a chance.
Okay, I have a chance now, and this is many frequencies. It can be, that's what's nice about Channel 11 on a Saturday evening. It can be quite a few different frequencies. Hopefully you are hearing me from up on the hill where it might be, I don't know, 94 degrees. You might even be under 90 degrees by now.
No way. It's still about 94, 95 outside. But hearing you okay tonight. A lot of noise, but that last station, I don't know where he was, but man, I could hear him a lot. He was probably the strongest signal I've heard tonight.
Yeah, I want to say he's up like near O'Neill, somewhere in there.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it sounded really good. Anyhow, appreciate the late check-in. Sorry to keep you from your water there.
No, it's come and gone. I missed you last night. I made a trip down to the new venue for the Fresno Amateur Radio Club because they had old Tube Radio night.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I heard about that. Wasn't able to do it. Pretty good, though, huh?
Yeah, it was good. We brought some of our old radios and showed them off, and I picked up a couple that are sitting behind me here, and here we are. Who would have thunk on the old Tube Radio Network doing it all over again. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you.
And you are listening to... All right, we're going to have our obligatory jingle singers, the ones that aren't decked out on the floor or hanging on the limousine have made it to the ribbon microphonium, and they will give us what they do best, telling us about the old Tube Radio Network as we wait and listen for radio number 7 on your old Tube Radio Network.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, your favorite spot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
Listening for Radio 7. I just saw John 128's post. John talk about working the 13 colonies. I wish I had more time. I was super busy because that is one of those I don't know, special event stations, what they're called, that I think I would like to work. It was called the 13 Colonies. 20 meters, asked me where I was in Virginia, told him Chantilly. Okay. 9 miles on the ground wave on 20 meters. Pretty good. You've got that. 20 meters is squirrely. It's sometimes you can hear everybody in the conversation from California to Colorado to New York, and sometimes the band drops out and you just hear one of the three, and it's very hard to talk. So good deal on the 13 Colonies. If they do that again or whatever, I will look more into that. What's the other one they do a lot? The Route 66 is one of them, and maybe that's something that's ongoing. We'll check into that. But that sounds like a fun special event special event. And good luck on working your let's see, Virginia on the long path. The old Tube Radio Network is standing by. Yeah, 97 Boston, thanks for the heads up, because I was leaning over, touching things and grabbing coaxes and shields, and I just wasn't real keen on instant on when I have, like a bare arm exposed on the chassis and then pulling something else. So I just to be safe, I turn things or unplug stuff. And yeah, the 123 and the 123B, I think we have already had one station that thought, these look similar, and try to swap on the plugs, and they are definitely not similar, so you got to be careful. OTR is standing by looking for Radio 7. And Tony, I appreciated the heavy metal. I was doing the old tube thing at the Amateur Radio Club last night, so I brought the Heathkit DX60B and the HR10, and then the Gonset G76 and the power supply. And those are heavy radios, even though they're small. They're about the same size of the CB sets behind me, but there's something about when you only need 5-watt DC input that you only need about 15 pounds of radio and not a big separate power supply. So I appreciated the tube CB radios, even though they're heavy. They're definitely not as heavy as the big iron that puts out 60 or 70 watts in the AM mode for sure. OTR standing by. And Richard 78 from Ground Rattling Free Wildemar. I think you were pretty far away. I don't know if you felt anything. Fresno was probably, I don't know, 100 miles? 125 miles. We if you were standing or sitting in the right spot, we definitely felt shock 1 and 2 here, and then maybe some of the aftershocks. So we got you checked in from not Wiggly Wildemar.
W1AW, portable Kilo Lima 7. Whiskey 1 Alpha Whiskey, portable Kilo Lima 7. Whiskey 1 Alpha Whiskey, portable Kilo Lima 7. Join that.
Listening in on 40 meters here.
Sugar Mike Romeo, 598WRL. Your full call, please.
We got a W1AW KL7 going on here tonight at 7195.
I'm not getting your full call. Mike Romeo again.
So the band is open somewhere. Looking for radio number 7. Check in the old Tube Radio Network. Checking the temp. Hey, we made it to 99. We're out of the triple digits. A perfect time to check in a radio. Joe, step up into the air chair. You are Radio 7 at 9:42. Over.
Yeah, thank you, Dennis. Yeah, I'd like to check in my Robin, 123B. I think she's warming up. All the lights seem to be flashing pretty good. Doggone it. So we broke it. Broke down to 99. It's still like 103 in this room with these radios.
I used to have a thermometer in here, a temperature gauge, and I don't know what happened to it. I took it down. It was too depressing to look at when I fired up all the tubes. You just know it's hot. And you know, if everything is working, then that's all you need to know. You know, the tube radios don't care. They like it hot. They definitely like it hot, so they're working good. Boy, that radio sounds great. Super loud audio. The 123 Bravo with, I think you said that has some magic switches on it as well.
Yeah, she has some little micro switches, little bitty guys. Like something you'd find on the bottom of a Turner Plus 2, but even smaller than that. And one of them is just right there next to the external speaker light, and the other one's over by the meter, just about a quarter of an inch away from the meter. And the one over by the external speaker is up, and the one over by the modulation light, which is on the speaker side, is down. So it doesn't make a difference on this channel, but anything below this channel, it helps. It puts you in the I should say the funny stage. If you were to put the meter, the micro up on the meter side up, and the one over by the external speaker down, then we'd be on channel 35 if we were on 10, and from there it kind of works itself down to channel 26. But pretty nice. It has the extra channels in it. Bless that all of the lights, switches, the external switch, the switch for the PA speaker, all of them work, and those do engage when they're on. It's not a press and hold, and as far as the back end, well, there's some goodies in the back end of this radio. But I'm not ready to mess with them.
It's working on 11, so maybe don't need to do that. I've acquired a 240D, a Yellowbird, and I thought of you the other night when I was looking at it because it's got the modification. It has a switch and a knob, and each one is a 3-position, like an up, middle, down, and then the knob is 3 positions. And I tried various combinations, and I wasn't getting any output. So I think there's some other issues going on. But it's already a 40-channel radio, so I don't know where it might need to go. Your radio there probably at 23 got the 40 channels, so hard to say. But this 240D I have definitely was not putting out any power, regardless of where the switches were. It sounds loud. It does a good job. Not sure if you've tried it on any other channels. Obviously, when you're AM, you're transmitting double sidebands. You could take it to 38 lower. You might not be able to hear everybody, but they'd certainly be able to hear you on lower and upper sideband at the same time.
Wow, interesting. Didn't know that. Yeah, that'd be fun to try. Yeah, doggone it, that radio that you were just talking about, that's a pretty radio. I've had my eye on that one.
Probably very similar inside to what you've got there, but they added the 40 channels. It's behind my right shoulder. I don't have it plugged in or I'd have it on, but there is a switch right above the one of the mod lights. So I think that's probably where one of your switches is, and then the other one's in the back. But it's not putting any output. It's got no output. So there are some other things going on. In the meantime, your Radio 7 doing a good job, and like I said, you don't need to touch a thing on that. It works good. I'm very impressed with the. It's hefty too. You pick those things up, and you know there's something good inside.
Oh yeah, no, it's a heavy little radio. Yeah, I noticed that the first time I bought it, that I lifted it up, I picked it up without the mic. Very solid little piece, condensed. It's got some weight to it. I'm hoping here to get in touch with Harvey there one of these days so I can get my blackface. I think it's a Johnson Messenger. I think a number 2. 1 or 2 anyway, but I think it's 2. I'm looking forward to getting that one fired up.
We will be ready. That's music to our ears here at the Old Tube Radio Network when there is going to be some Tube Radio activity or something new to put on our list. I want to say hello to new listeners. Hello, Levon, jumping in. Also, DB from Waterbury, Connecticut is listening to your radio tonight. And check it out on the replay. And the mighty Sierra Romeo, the Sugar Radio. Keith is listening in tonight as well. So you're beaconing not only across the Central Valley, but across everywhere else on the Universal Media Network. Thanks for the Robin T123B tonight.
Thank you, Dennis. And doggone it, we'll get back in this easy chair here and finish drinking our coffee. We're having a little hazelnut coffee this evening, and I know it's warm, but I've got to have my coffee. Thanks a lot, Dennis.
Hey, when you gotta have it, you gotta have it. I don't know. I'm not much of a coffee drinker. I probably had like 5 cups of coffee my entire life, but hot chocolate and tea I can do. So I'll get in the swing of things here at some point. The Old Tube Radio Network, it is, we got about 10 minutes left. Not going to stay too late tonight. It is super hot. At least we got down to 99 degrees. I don't know what it is here in the shack. Looking for a high tomorrow of, 113, something like that. After it gets past 100, who cares, right? It's going to be hot. Hot in the radio room is a good thing. That means your tubes are glowing and we're listening for more.
Break OTR.
And the Break OTR, back from wherever. 390 Wagon Master asking if the Gemtronics GTX 5000 is the Panasonic chassis. I believe it is. It's the maybe Model 3 with the 40 channels that is like the Robin T240D and some other items. What brings you into the Radio Shack tonight, 47?
Well, first and foremost, good evening to all, and hello from the radio lounge. Boy, it was fun getting in here, just flipping on the radio and kind of eavesdropping while this particular radio was warming. It's not like it needed any help. But what brings me to the radio lounge? Well, I know this sounds funny. It's almost 10 o'clock. I'm just now getting done with yard work. I was busy this morning and got a little hot and lazy this afternoon, so I've been out in the yard until just now. It's amazing what's coming up to the sprinkler lines and clogging the sprinkler heads. But anyways, that's a topic for some other time perhaps. But anyways, again, hello. It's so nice to hear you and everyone else. I just love listening to that chit-chat as I'm washing the sweat off my face. But live for your steaming ears, if you don't mind, first of all, I'd like to officially check in and also check in my delightfully large radio that I'm using. It feels kind of awkward, kind of looking at this huge, well, actually these two ginormous apparatuses that I'm kind of talking into and listening through. It's my Browning R27 S23 Series 2.
Browning Laboratories, the original Eagle, or the first of the Brownings to have the Eagle name. I brought up for those at oldtuberadio.net are watching the video. This is an advertisement. And they show the little encircled silhouette eagle head. This is before the flying eagle or the golden eagle. Not sure what the story is behind how they came up with the eagle, and it sounds good. I always like the way you have it. You have it set up so it's not. It doesn't scream, but it is an eagle, and it sounds good. For those who get the headache every time an eagle comes on and says, "Oh, how many times is you going to keep that thing up?" Yours is subdued enough where it is pleasant to listen to. The Browning Eagle is the most modern base station you can buy. It has all the latest features you've been looking for, and it delivers that famous Browning base station performance. If you want the base station that's the talk of the CB airwaves, you want the new Browning Eagle, the undisputed, I can almost see the writing there, undisputed mark of excellence in CB radio. That's how they start off the ad. Over.
Well, now I feel semi-inadequate. I don't think I can, I don't think my own credentials can even come close to the credentials that this radio apparently was advertised as or has earned in its lifetime. But I will tell you that it's just delightful to use. I am kind of curious as I'm kind of staring at it right now, and I'm so used to looking at the modulation lamps, not match guide tubes, but modulation lamps on my other radio, and well, I'm talking about the 123B, as a matter of fact. And that modulation lamp just never really does much of anything. And I do have an unamplified mic on that one. Well, I've got an unamplified mic on this one too. And I got to tell you, this modulation lamp is really, it's rocking. And I got to tell you, it's genuinely fun to look at. Wow.
Yeah, don't you like the blinking lights and the wiggle meters? And it's modulating. I'll put the S meter up if you ever watched the replay, and it's moving like it should. Looking at the transmitter now, there's a lot of lights, but there is a red light under this meter. There looks like there's an amber light under what I think is the on-the-air light. Then is there another light? No, that's the channel selector. So I'm assuming that one of those blinks or comes on at least when you're talking. Over.
Okay, so yeah, and well, first of all, you're reminding me about my favorite feature of this radio that, of course, I wasn't paying attention to. This on the setting unit of this pair, it's got a really huge on-the-air lamp on it, and I've always enjoyed looking at it. It's kind of cool, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong on this. I think most, if not all, of the other Browning radios have that on-the-air lamp. Well, it's got to be on the receiver, I think, under the speaker. Maybe you're going to have to elaborate on that. But this one does have the on-the-air lamp on the transmitter, and it's really big. I'm not even close to being an expert on these things. Quite the opposite, as a matter of fact. But I don't think any other Browning radio has an on-the-air lamp that's this huge. I had to measure this at some point in time. Anyways, for whatever it's worth, it's awesome to look at. I'm staring at it right now, and it's fun. The little lamp that you were talking about that's underneath the on-the-air lamp, is actually, I'm assuming it lights up whenever you spot the radio to tune your receive. I don't know, I had to verify that. I won't do it now during the net, though.
Probably let you know you're in that mode. Let's see, what is the question? Oh, in our photo here, the on-the-air light, which is just the opposite side of the transmitter, that well, it's not an S meter, it's probably an RF meter, we'll call it that. It just is red. It's washed out, and I think that could be the picture. So I will ask you. I don't need colors or anything, but does it say on the air when you transmit? And in our photo here, it's so bright that we just see this big sort of reddish, orangish glow, and there is no lettering to speak of, which may be the case, but you know better because you're sitting in front of one. Over.
Okay, well, that's a good question, mainly because it's one that I can actually answer. I feel so proud of myself. Yeah, I'm kind of curious. I'd be very interested in finding out or looking at the picture that you and everyone else is looking at. But yes, sir, on the air lamp that's just right above the power switch on the transmitter, it does say on the air. And it's really kind of interesting. Someone was feeling frisky, or they were feeling stylish, or something, because the three words on the air. It's kind of a it's in a rectangle window, and it's how do I say this? It's portrait. It's oriented like portrait instead of landscape. So hopefully at least one or two of you know what I'm talking about. So it's in portrait mode, and instead of the three words on the air, being typed perfectly from left to right, there's kind of a droop, or it tapers downwards on the right-hand side. So the O-N, on, is kind of going downwards. I don't know if they just thought it was cool, or maybe with the three-letter words, the and air, maybe they just felt like there wasn't enough room for the size of the writing. I don't know. But the three words, they're definitely, and I'm looking at it right now. Number one, to answer your question, yes, it does say on the air. And number two, each of those three words has a, it's kind of sliding downwards towards the right. If that kind of makes sense, hopefully.
Yeah, that makes sense. It was probably designed by a committee, and they had to take a vote, and that was the format that came in first place, and that made it onto the radio. And the on-the-air light is a good thing. It's always nice to have. It's always nice to know that you are on the air. In television, they have, in the studios, they have the big red on-the-air light to let you know when your microphone or the camera is on. Same with radio. So one that you look and sound intelligent, and mainly you're on the air so you don't say anything that you're not supposed to.
Well, I doubt anything can actually make me sound intelligent, even the mighty Browning radio. But yeah, it is a fun radio to use. I will say, I don't want to hog up too much time. I will say that one of my cool features about this radio that I just really love looking at, and this may sound really stupid because not that many people talk about it. On the right-hand side of the transmitter, on the outside side of the cage, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 little tabs that are punched outward, and I've always found it curious. I guess it was, back at some point in time, you had to have an official license to blab on this radio, and I guess that's where you would slide your station license. And I've always thought that's really, really, really cool. That predates my time on this earth, but I just think that's really, really, really cool. And you can go on eBay and see a bunch of these old original cards, that you can pick up if you want to. But I thought that's really cool. I've never made one. I've always thought about trying to do it. Make myself some sort of a customized ID card or license card to fit in there. But I don't know. Maybe at some point in time. But it's pretty cool, and for anyone else that actually has one, bravo. I think that's awesome. Don't ever get rid of those things. That's very cool.
All right, and it makes sense, and I will try and remember how this works. An amateur radio operator, the person is licensed, so you carry the license. You're supposed to carry the license with you. You know, the little card it is you. You are the license. So, and in the citizen band and Class D radio, you are not licensed. It was the unit. The radio is licensed, and so I think some of, like you said, the astute manufacturers realized that instead of giving you the wallet-sized card to carry with you, they gave you the little badge or the holder to put on the side of your radio because you are licensing the radio unit, Unit 1 base, Unit 1, Unit 2. And so there you go. You want the license to be on the device. Over.
That actually makes perfect sense. I don't think you could have said it more plainly and clear. That's awesome. Well, that's really interesting. I wonder what years those were required, or up until what year they were required. I'd be very curious if any folks that actually listen here on Saturday night actually have theirs, or at least have one. I think that'd be really cool. So, I don't know, I'll let you comment on that, and then I'll get out of here. I've taken up too much time, I think, as is. And I will also say, before I get out of here, unless I'm mistaken, you might have mentioned a listener in Waterford, Connecticut?
Oh, I'm looking at the Germantown is still on. It's probably on the video side, so it's probably scrolled past, but that could be possible, yes.
Okay. Well, I drove by there years ago. Actually, when I went to the ARRL headquarters, I can't remember the exact name of the station. I'm sure you know what that is. Anyways, I kind of drove by there, and a great little town. Actually, that was even featured in Ken Burns' series, The War, about World War II. So, fun place. So, greetings to whoever that might be.
Interesting. No, let me turn up the audio. See if they're still out there. We were at 7195, and there was a W.
7-3, November 8, Bravo 8.
Oh, here it is, right here.
Whiskey 1 Alpha Whiskey, portable Kilo Lima 7. W1AW, portable Kilo Lima 7. Whiskey 1 Alpha Whiskey, portable Kilo Lima 7. Whiskey 1 Alpha.
Okay, sir, the W1AW, Whiskey 1 Alpha Whiskey, that's at 7197. It's portable KL7, which would be Alaska. So I don't know if it's someone at the W1AW and he has to put his license stroke portable, or if there's operating. I don't know what they're doing, but I think that's what you're talking about.
Yep, that's it.
So that is still going on. Yeah, you were the envy of this station when you came back with the photos of W1AW with the operating. So that's something that is on my list of things to do, but hasn't been done yet. We are talking with Mike, SWL47, on his Browning Eagle R27 S23. Doing a good job. It is 10. Man, it's 10:05. So I'm going to go back to you for transmission and see if there's anybody else, and just we want to shut things down so people can get out of their 100-degree radio rooms so they can run outside to the 95-degree weather and cool off.
Okay, hey, that wasn't me, but 73. Stay cool, everyone.
All right. Well, you know what? That was probably our radio number 9. That was probably a blast from our radio number 9. OTR is standing by.
Number 9. Number 20, and actually check me in from the radio room, along with 29 and 54. And then we'll check this radio in.
From the radio room, we've got you. You sounded good on the crossband. You were somewhere in a null for me, where you get that phase distortion. So I don't think you were that far away. You just weren't in a good location. But I heard you just fine. So no problem there, and we did get you checked in. And all the gang checked in. So go ahead with the radio. Over.
Hey, Roger. Okay, the Browning, obviously, R68T68 by Browning Laboratories by Golden Beagle, and it's got the custom D104 with the that's glued on the back of the head of the unamplified D104 that came with it from Browning Laboratories. That's not my Eagle ping. That's my Beagle flush.
The flush. Well, it's sounding better. I think we are getting used to hearing it, and we thought maybe that was sort of the noisemaker that you put into your D104.
Yeah, this thing's totally separate, and I have to figure out exactly how far away from the mic and such to do it, but anyway, there it is. I do believe there's possibly a second Midland tube radio. I'll try and find it out. I think the 890 is, quote, the popular one, but I seem to remember another one. If I can find it, I'll let you know. But right now, looks like just one.
All right, good. Yeah, if you know that, if you know of it, let us know, because Mitch is putting together information, and I'm pretty sure that's the info we have. So if you know of another 13 question mark that might glow in the dark, that would be an interesting thing. You are radio number 9 with the Browning Golden Eagle R68T68. I don't know if that has the CB license holder for the unit on the side. John still has his KJG4755. I don't know if my KEO8492 is around here somewhere. I missed the photo. John mentioned there was a 23S9 running around there somewhere. 390 Wagon Master says, where's the uniform tonight? I think when it gets past 105, the management lets me ditch the tie, and tonight we were having fun over in the green room, so I never ran into the dressing room and got rid of the Hawk shirt. But I think next week we'll get into uniform. I don't think it's going to be 113. Anyway, Harvey, thanks for braving the heat in your Radio Shack tonight and giving us a check-in.
As far as that ID card, I've seen some that do kind of fit in to the slot. Now, I have a whole group of ones that are supposedly, well, they're pretty much original. They're FCC Form 452-0 revised, and you peel and stick, and it says peel back, or bend back and peel off. Anyway, it's the US of A Federal Communications little ID thing that you would stick on the side of your radio or somewhere, I guess. And this card attests that authorization has been received from the FCC for installing and or operation of the radio transmitter to which attached. You put your name and location, your transmitter operating frequencies, Class D citizens band, your signature, etc., etc. And at the bottom of this one, it says that it's printed on it, Browning Laboratories, Inc., O'Shea Industrial Park, Laconia, New Hampshire, 03246. I've got a bunch of these. I got them from a guy back in Massachusetts, real nice guy. His first name is Coleman, and he was selling some stuff on eBay. I got a hold of him, and he shipped me a ton of Browning stuff. And I've got maybe 25 or 30 of these cards. And I call them cards, but they'll peel and stick. But I've got another one, the one I'm looking at, that I got off eBay separately, that was sealed and laminated. So it's not written on or anything, completely untouched inside the plastic. Now, this plastic is cut such, not by me, that it'll kind of fit into that slot. The card itself is smaller, so it's not made for that. But these were issued supposedly by Browning for you to stick on your radio.
All right, and dare I say it, this is the peel and stick frequency here tonight. Well, cool. Everybody should have their license. And speaking of which, thanks 23 for the Sherlocking on. When was it okay to take that off the side of the radio? And that was in June 1983, when the FCC dropped the CB licensing requirement. Licenses were needed from 1958 at the start of Class D service until June of 1983. And they sort of changed. In 74, 75, 76, they started because, was it 1 year or was it 1 month? There were 4 million licenses, and the FCC couldn't keep up, and they started sort of self-licensing with your, zip code. Sort of give yourself a license. Don't call us. And then it was like, we don't care. Whatever you want to do with that little badge on the side of your radio, put recipes. Put it one of Chrissy's recipes. If you don't have a license, get the recipe for the tater tots and stick it right in there. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the tater tot recipe in my item. Let's see. What else? Richard was saying he had I never thought of that, Richard. A license for his RC airplane up there on those little half channels. Again, you're licensing the unit. You're not licensing yourself. Wagon Master, too hot for polyester. Yeah, it is not. That is my seersucker suit is actually not polyester. It's not a 70s thing. It's a 60s thing. So it's actually pretty comfortable. I do have I think if I go back in the archives, I have a polyester suit that I was wearing one time, and that is pretty. It is very awful. All right, Harvey, you are doing well. Let me go back to you for any items. And I do want to sign out of here before I actually blow something up. But I appreciate your knowledge of things, CB radio and glowing in the dark. Over.
Very good, yeah.
I think I hear somebody in there, but my air conditioner's on, and since my antenna is the mag mount on top of the air conditioner, I'm getting a little bit of noise. Okay. 3 3/4, I think, wide by 3 1/4 high is the spot to stick it on the side of the radio. So I'm going to see about getting these things enlarged on cardstock. See if that works. Okay, I'll let you go. Catch you next week.
All right, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the radio. And I did hear a breaking station. That voice sounds familiar, the break for OTR. I am listening. Go ahead.
Yeah, just Mr. Rude being late as usual. Checking.
Okay, not a problem. We're still hanging around, getting ready to shut it down here. And like I said, go out and enjoy the probably 95 degree weather. SWL 131. We have you checked in. Over.
All right, Dennis, thank you. I'm going to shut that thing down before it melts.
Trying to keep it from not doing that. And the license fee was $4, $20. I think it was $8. I think when I wanted to get in, it was $8, and then it went up to $20. Remember, I think that's what I paid. I paid $20. So yeah, they wanted to make some money somewhere, and then the fines, fining everybody for idle chit chat and putting your antenna up too high and getting that $50 to $100. So I think the FCC finally figured they weren't making enough money fining people, and it was too hard to process 4 million licenses. And where did they go wrong anyway? The CB radio is still here. The FCC is still around, but they even closed the field offices. So there are no longer 4 million CB radio operators, and there's certainly not as many FCC field offices or people back in the day when there were 4 million operators. OTR standing by, counting and mounting, and we'll be back in a moment.
All right, you have a good evening here, Dennis. We'll talk to you next time.
73. And Harvey, if you're listening, I got a couple of new additions to the Radio Shack here. One is an E.F. Johnson, which I think is going to be a player. And the other is a 240D that has some very suspicious things going on. I may have to talk to you about that. One. But the E.F. Johnson looks promising. I just wish that it had an external speaker jack on it, which it does not. Any other items of interest for the Old Tube Radio Network before we sign off tonight? And Richard, is the Livermore station, it is still active? I know they closed a lot of them. I thought maybe Livermore, what was the other one? There was Long Beach or something. There was a couple in California. I didn't know Livermore was still active. So if they've got their antenna right, some of the big gun stations, they might be listening in on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Dennis?
This is the Basic Dennis, over.
When I was up in the Bay Area, the FCC listing station in Livermore, just north of the 580 freeway, it had a bunch of golf balls, if you know what I mean, buildings. And then when they stopped doing what they were doing, the golf balls went away.
All right, well, they might still be around, or maybe they don't need them anymore for triangulation and stealthy zones, or however they do it. Now everything's on the internet, so they probably don't need that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, I haven't gotten a visit since. What E.F. Johnson are you talking about?
Okay, from 84's collection, behind me that's illuminated is the 223, which actually I was checking the transmitter out last night, receive and transmit. I think it's got a block of 5 crystals that may be wacko. And then below that is a beautiful 240D. Unfortunately, it has some switchable, probably the channel mods in it. But that, even though that didn't seem to have any transmit or receive anywhere, and I'm not sure if that's a function of the switches, but even on the dummy loads, I mean, regardless of what frequency you might be on, it should be putting out something. So that may need a once over. But the E.F. Johnson is ready to play. It probably just needs a little bit of once around the block type of thing. But it's a beautiful radio.
Okay. On the Johnson, which bank of 5?
Oh, I'll have to look, because they came in. It's probably like 3, 4, 5, and 6. I looked at the schematic, and I think it was 5 through 9 or 3 through 7, something like that. It was a 5 block, it seemed like, and then they came back. So I'm not sure. I didn't open anything up to see if things are loose or whatever.
Well, it's a bank of 5 would be actually
actually 4. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5, 6, 7, 8. They would be, I'm guessing, I shouldn't have to guess, my brain should work, because unfortunately I've had to work on some Johnson's 223s right now, and I've got a guy located that has crystals, but he takes a while to get back to you on whether he's got what he says he has. I have to call him either tomorrow, I think he's open Sundays, or Monday, because I'm ordering a bunch of crystals from him so that I can fix the Johnsons that I have. That didn't come out right. But anyway, yeah, I've got a broken Johnson. Anyway, if it came back, then it could be a real dirty channel selector. I'd spray it up and see if that brings it back. One of mine, the connector that pinches that little piece when it comes around was out of whack, and I just compressed it a little bit, and that fixed that one. So yours could be a little bit out of whack then. Cleaning would help. Spray it out, and then see what happens.
Okay, good info, and 11 was working just fine. It has a really good RMS audio out of it. And it's got that funky 6-pin mic connector, so I couldn't get it through the audio board, and I think it has to have a jumper or something to receive as well. So we'll talk some more. All right, 73 to you. Head to cooler spots, and I'm going to do counting and mounting and get out of here.
Okay, so I'll just add in real quick. We don't even need to talk about the radio I'm on, but if you do want to put it down on the list, it's a Robin T123, no Bravo after that. This is the one with the magic eye. And this is pretty sensational. You said that you just got a Johnson Messenger 223. Yeah, 223. If you go on eBay and search that particular radio up, there's one, I think it's got a buy it now price for $500. It's brand new. It's brand new in a box. The cardboard box looks brand new. It's probably the most museum quality piece I've ever seen in my entire life. I wish I was more of a Johnson guy. My Johnson is not broken, Harvey. I'm sorry that yours might be. I don't know. Maybe, well, no comment.
You didn't even get a double ping for that. I've added the 123 nothing, the Robin T123B to, I'm sorry, the Robin T123 to the list. Radio 10, and the 223 is functional, so it's good. 97, thanks for the 80, the big capacitor underneath. I haven't opened it up or anything. It actually sounded good. I didn't hear any humming or buzzing, but I think it would be interesting to look at it further, which I will. And we've added the Robin. There are Robin fans. You can't put a Robin on and not check it in, especially when it's green and it's got a magic eye over.
Dennis, how about one more?
This is the one more frequency. Go ahead.
Oops. I'm feeding back a bit. Hang on. Let's see if I can do this. And I'm going to feed back a bit. Oh, there we go. Let's see if I still feed back. Yeah. Okay. I'll try this. Okay. This is a Robin T123B with an static golden eagle, nice gold microphone.
All right, I got that it was a Robin T123B, and if you're doing the range boost, try without it. It's pretty rough, and I think it's being added. I'm not sure the radio is doing what what the noise I'm hearing. I think it's being added. So give it another shot here. You are Radio 11.
Okay. Range boost off. How's that?
Way, way better. Over.
Okay. Hang on. Watch this. Okay. This is just the radio. Range boost off. Range boost off. Now, just the radio. Range boost on.
Yeah, I like that. If you watch the replay, you will hear the difference. And it's a typical range boost. It adds a little bit of extra audio flavor in it. They always seem to add a little bit of low frequency back in. I was looking at the circuit in the 240D, and I didn't know if they actually did something like that on purpose, where they changed the capacitors or whatever. But anyway, it sounds good. It cleaned up all the scratchy ucky noise.
Okay. Alrighty, there was something else I was going to say, and I can't remember what it was now. Well, there you go. I'll try and remember. But when you announced that Radio 10, I thought, I'll quickly do this one. This is my 123B. I'm not going to run this mic on it. I'll run something else. But I need to change the capacitors in it and a few things. But it's on frequency, and it's a 123B. I finally found mine.
Good deal. It sounds good with its what Jim number one used to say, run what you brung. It does well, and it does sound good with the range boost off, but it sounds better with the range boost on. And it is our Radio 11, and it sounds like it could be a player for future episodes. Over.
Oh, yeah. And I'm still trying to remember what I was going to mention, but I can't think of it. Okay, I'll try and think. We'll catch you later.
All right, 73 to you, and last call for radios, jingle singers, and you called us over. You called us over to the microphones, and then you didn't do what you were supposed to do. So here we go. OTR standing by.
You're tuned to
OTR. Channel 11.
right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us
Old Tube Radio.
and be modern.
Okay, I'm back here at 10:30. I just can't wait to get outside in that great whatever it is, 95 degree weather. Let me check the APRS outdoor weather. See if have we got to 90 yet? 98 at 10:30. It's going to be a great evening to do something that probably doesn't involve sitting next to a very hot radio. Good night to all those who are watching on the video. Thanks for staying up late, or maybe you're watching the replay because you couldn't stay up late. We got some great radios tonight, which we will talk about here in just a moment. SWLs tonight, 13 on page 1, 17 on page 2, 15 on page 3, and 21 on page 4, for a total of 66, plus or minus my not counting them correctly. And on radios tonight we had 11. And Chrissy has a question. Go ahead and type in your question, Chrissy, and I will get to it here before we sign out this evening. What was the most heard radio? Well, we'll find out in a moment. Started with probably the most interesting or classic or rare radio of the evening, the Midland 13890, thanks to Paul for the possible only tube at Midland that they made. Starting off, it sounded good. Watch the replay, Paul. You will be pleased. Radio number 2, Dwayne on the Robin T123B, a new one for him, sounding good. The T-Berry Model T, based on that same Panasonic chassis, Radio number 3 from Paul. The 4th radio tonight, Chris on the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A. Only made by General. And not a Panasonic chassis to be seen on those, I don't think. E.F. Johnson, Messenger 223 from Joe for Radio 5. There'll be a couple more of those checking, and I'm going to figure out how to check in my own radios. I have a plan for that, and to try not to blow up my receiver to do it. Mark, Monkey's Uncle, up on the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB, Radio 6, Radio 7, Joe on the Robin T123B. The Browning Eagle R27S23 from Mike was radio number 8. Radio number 9 was the Browning Golden Eagle R68T68. Or was that the Browning Lavatories, Golden Beagle. That was radio 9. Radio 10, the Robin T123 from 47. And then Harvey on the Robin T123B, sounding good without the Harvey range boost. And pretty much stomping on the Brownings. The Brownings were neck and neck, and then they were tied, and then they jumped ahead, and then they were tied, and then they were number 2. The Robins at 4, the Brownings at 3, and a host of others on your old Tube Radio Network. Sounding good tonight. And Chrissy will have another recipe next week, so if you can't find your license, or if you got your radio after 1983 and you didn't need a license, but you have the license holder on the side of your radio and you're wondering what to do with that cool thing, get your 3x5 cord or your 5x8 cord or narrow it down, get it ready to go. Don't write anything on it, and then Chrissy will have a recipe for you. One of the old Tube radio recipes that'll fit right in that little pouch where the license should go. Or even if you have a license, put it in the back or put it in front. And then the FCC comes, once they look at your license and find out that you haven't done hobby communications, idle chit-chat, that your antenna isn't over 60 feet off the ground, that you're not running over 5 watts DC input, and on and on and on, you can invite them in for a nice home-cooked meal from one of Chrissy's recipes. Good night, everybody. Thanks to SearchLawrence.com, the Nixie Tubes, everybody else, the old Tube Radio Network, are running well for 36 years. Thanks to all of you. Good night, everybody.
Thanks, Dennis, and good night.
Thank you, Dennis. And I already found one Midland, the 13160. 7-tube, 8-channel transceiver. Well, I'll keep looking. Well, there's one more. 13160.
Interesting. I'm looking at my Rolodex, and I don't, for all the Midlands that were made, I don't have it listed. I've got the one we showed tonight, but I don't even go down. I go to a 13500, and that's as low as I go.
Okay, I'll try and get as complete a list as I can find by next week.
All right, sounds good. 73, and I'm going to let things cool down on the old Tube Radio Network. And boy, is it staticky tonight.
Does Ovaltine taste good cold?
Yeah, that's the way I used to do it all the time. You just had the old stuff, the real Ovaltine that was made by the Ovaltine company before Nestle bought it. When you made it cold, you had to stir that thing for about 5 minutes because they didn't put all the chemicals in it that made it dissolve in milk, like they did when they sold it out. So yeah, it was good stuff.
Alrighty, catch you next week. I'm on.
Okay, very good. 73 on the old Tube Radio Network, cooling down here. Backing off the RF gain.
Whiskey 1 Alpha Whiskey Portable Kilo Lima 7. Whiskey 1 Alpha Whiskey Portable Kilo Lima 7. Ticket contest. Whiskey 1 Alpha Whiskey Portable Kilo Lima 7. W1AW Portable Kilo Lima 7. Whiskey 1 Alpha Whiskey Portable Kilo Lima 7. Whiskey 1 Alpha Whiskey Portable Kilo Lima 7. Your next. Whiskey 1 Alpha Whiskey Portable Kilo Lima 7. Whiskey 1 Alpha Whiskey Portable Kilo Lima 7. Lima uniform again. Lima uniform again. W1AW Portable Kilo Lima 7. Contest. Whiskey 1 Alpha Whiskey Portable Kilo Lima 7. Whiskey 1 Alpha Whiskey Portable Kilo Lima 7. Whiskey 1 Lima uniform again. Whiskey 1 Alpha Whiskey Portable Kilo Lima 7. 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 Kilo 54 Lima uniform. I think they're 59 ARRL. Can I tell? 63 W1AW Portable Kilo Lima 7. Echo Charlie again. Again, Echo Oscar 8 to run again. Echo Delta 8 Whiskey 59 ARRL. Can I tell? 5936, Roger. 5923, go south.
You can't drive a couple of stakes in and start swapping the alligator clips over to different poles. See if you can electrocute the dude.
Probably wouldn't hurt him too bad, but it's sure making run. Keep contest. Whiskey 1 Alpha Whiskey Portable Kilo Lima 7. W1AW.
Taking a couple of weeks and just pull all around, over.
So much to get it. Generally, they're pushing.
What